You know, some of us, or those of us who are healthy, we don't really know what God has done for us. If you really want to know what God has done for you, maybe you should try visiting the hospitals to know what He has really done for you. Because I know I've been a part of that, you know. So on this particular day that I want to talk to us about, I went to work. That was on a Friday. So while I was at work, my daughter came in from school. She waited for me. And while I was in the office, I noticed something. It looks as if um, somebody just, you know, like did like this to me on my waist. So I shouted, and my daughter asked me what the problem was. I told her that I really don't know. It looks as if somebody just tapped me a little bit. So after work, I packed my things and we decided to go home. But then I couldn't get up from the chair. Ordinarily, I do have waist pain, more especially whenever I bend down too much or whenever I lift heavy things. But then I can't really remember the last time I had that waist pain because I no longer lift heavy things and I don't bend down too much to do anything. So when she asked me what the problem was, I told her that I couldn't get up from my chair. She thought I was joking. And then she decided to come closer to help me out. But then I still couldn't get up. So somebody just came in and decided to help her out, and I was able to stand up. The pain was just like increasing in number. So she brought my bag and then we went downstairs. But walking became a very big burden for me. It was a very big problem. But I managed to walk towards the car, but I couldn't get inside my car. By this time, I was crying. I was really shouting. And some of my colleagues who were still around came out, and the security man equally came out, and they asked me what the problem was. I told them how everything started, you know. So my colleague asked me if he can drive me home. I said no, that I can drive myself. So what they did was to open the door of the car, help me inside the car. My colleague and the security man, they lifted me up and helped me sit down inside the car. Sitting down was like a big problem. Lifting my leg was the worst of it all. But then when they put me inside the car, I drove myself and my daughter, and we got home. When we got home, I couldn't get down from the car anymore. It looks as if my waist was gummed to that chair. It looks as if my legs were tied to a heavy rock. I couldn't move my legs anymore. So my daughter went in and called my sons and they came out. They were shocked to see me that way. So they asked me what the problem was. I couldn't even tell them because I was crying. I was really shouting. So my sons had to get me out from the car. Both of them lifted me up and brought me inside the house. So they took me to the dining section and sat me down and asked me to tell them what actually happened. And I told them. So they brought a balm. You know, they thought it's something that, you know, when they massage me, then I'll get relief. They massage my waist, they massage my knee, they massage my feet, because these were the parts of the body where I was actually getting pains. They asked me to stand up so that they would take me inside the room, but I couldn't stand up. They did everything possible for me to stand up. I couldn't stand up, so they had to lift me up, you know, to help me walk into the room. But then I couldn't move my legs. My legs were so heavy, not just heavy, but so heavy and painful. I couldn't even move my legs like just like an inch. I could not. So what they did was to lift me up, took me to the room, and placed me on the bed. By nightfall, it became the worst. That was when I realized that I have been paralyzed from my waist down. I couldn't move that part of my body. And this was what I passed through every day because I stopped going to work. There is no way I can go to work because I don't walk anymore. I was paralyzed from waist down. All the drugs and all the injections that was given to me was just like where you were pouring water on a stone. It didn't take any effect on my body. And then when we came back, it looked as if we triggered the whole thing. The pain that I was experiencing was just unbearable. Like the only time I wasn't crying was when I was sleeping. But whenever I am awake, you cannot imagine the pain. I would keep on crying and shouting. This whole scenario happened for like 2 weeks. I was actually paralyzed for 2 weeks or more. On this particular day, after my night prayers while I lay down on the bed, I slept off. And then around 12:01, it looked as if somebody was flashing a torchlight on my face in the middle of the night, and I woke up. So when I woke up, I looked, I noticed that there were some flashes of light at my window. I was just looking at those lights. They were red and blue in color. And the next thing I saw was this light just flashed inside my bedroom. They just came in inside my bedroom. And I followed the light because they went towards the door leading to the toilets and bedroom. I followed the light with my eyes. And then the light just disappeared. So by the time I just turned round, I saw two figures, two beings, two men. Their faces were blurred. I couldn't really see the face very well. But then one was taller than the other. And the one that was taller than the other was like behind, and the little one was in front. And they were talking to me. I wasn't hearing what they were saying, but I was actually understanding everything they were saying. I saw their lips open and close, but I couldn't hear anything, but I understood everything they said. And what they said was that they told me that I should not be afraid, that God is aware of the situation that I was in there, and that God said that I will not be in that condition for the rest of my life, that He's going to heal me because that He wants me to do something for Him. So after saying that, I saw the flashes of light again, the blue and the red, flashed in, pierced the window, and went towards that toilet and bedroom door. And when I followed that flashes, the next thing I noticed was the two beings just vanished. When the two beings vanished, that was when I knew where I was. And I tapped my husband, I woke him up. And I told him that I saw two angels. He turned and looked at me like, "Are you okay?" He just touched my forehead and said, "We'll go back to hospital tomorrow morning." I said, "No, that I know what I'm saying." I told him that I saw two angels, that they came inside the room, and I told him everything that the angels said. He just said, "You are having fever. Probably the fever is getting much. Tomorrow morning, we're going back to the hospital. Lie down and sleep." And he turned the other side and slept off. But I knew what I saw. I knew what I saw, but it's just that he will not believe me. So what I did was, just like he said, yes, I just shut my eyes and forced myself to sleep, and I slept off. And then the following morning, I noticed that I was able to move my legs. For the first time, I was able to move my legs. I shifted my legs from where they were to another position. And then I tried to see if I can lift myself up from the bed, but it was difficult. The pains were still there. I couldn't do it. So the next day, I was able to get up from the bed, and I was able to sit down on my own without anything supporting me. But then I still couldn't walk because my legs were still heavy and so painful. So what my children did was to get me a walk stick, which my father-in-law used, when he was still alive. So I tried using that walk stick to walk, but it was difficult that first time. So by the following day, I decided to try the walk stick again. And that was how I was able to start learning how to walk. If you only understand what I mean by an adult learning how to walk again, that is the most difficult thing. It is easy for a baby to learn how to walk than for an adult to learn how to walk. But I continued that way. Every day I'll keep on trying until I got better. And I started work again. I started going to office. Everything became normal again. But that actually brought me closer to what the angels said. That God said that I will not be paralyzed forever because I am still going to do something for Him. But that will be the story for another day. So I'm going to see us next time. Have a lovely day. Bye.